your staff. It's not working. Barefooted and all.
Trying to clean out over it.
Oh, this wasn't that bad. You could have worn it.
Oh.
These guys don't pick their
wiped
shoes
these
off.
off. I was about to say.
Did you get my email, Stephanie?
I didn't send it. Yes.
Okay, it's,
Maybe not.
Oh.
I think that whole.
Yeah.
Included.
I got a hold of her. They're supposed to be coming out here this week.
Okay, well, I cleared one end of it and realized, I think there's more one.
Yeah. Yep.
It's 6:00 p.m. on October 15th. We're gonna start the meeting with roll call the board members.
Stephanie Bosley?
Michael Cornelia, Lynn Beer. She was calling me.
Jim is,
Hey, Jim.
and Julie Saul. We're waiting to see if Jim can join. He's going to be joining.
He did not.
No, he's talking to. We'll give it one minute for Jim to get connected.
Go to the website, click on the October 5th meeting that pops up on the right there and use that link.
Yeah, I'm guessing you joined the later. Okay.
We'll see him.
Yep. Yeah, I figured. Sounds good.
That poor door.
Yeah.
Go fast.
Okay.
You remember the word for me?
I just shared it with you, Stephanie.
Oops.
Lynn shared it with.
It should log you.
Okay. Thank you.
And as soon as I already got it.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. We've got a board member that's trying to join.
And here comes Mark.
There he is. He's in the waiting room, Charles. And then we just did roll call. Are you able to hear?
I can hear, and can you hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, and Jim Moore is attending via Zoom. Does anybody have a conflict of interest?
No.
Nope.
No,
No, either for me. The general public input will be limited to 20 minutes, 5 minutes per speaker. Please state your name and address before speaking. In the event an individual or organization would like an item on the agenda for board consideration, please contact the staff on Thursday before the meeting. The president will ask for public comment on the specific items that appear on the agenda after board discussion, staff input, and before board action. In general responses to questions regarding the agenda item, it can be more efficiently answered if provided in advance to the staff via the district manager. And then we're going to move on to approving the agenda.
Public comment.
Oh, we need to add that. If we could. Are there any public comments? No? Okay, now we're going to move on to approving the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
This is Stephanie. I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Sorry. Courtney had recommended a different way to, you want to explain it, Corey?
Yeah, so, there was a little bit of confusion that happened at the last meeting. So I figured to, help alleviate those issues from happening again, when a board member makes a motion and it's seconded, then, whoever's running the meeting will, call for a roll call and they'll get everybody's vote individually. So, Joey will say, roll call, and then either myself or Sean, or it doesn't matter who does it, will say, Director Lynn, Director Soul, and so on, and get everybody's vote, separately, and then we could add it into the minutes that way, it's a little
Okay.
more transparent on who said yes and who said no.
Okay, so we just approved the agenda and we're ready for roll call.
Director Lynn,
Yes, approved.
Director Soul,
Approved.
yeah,
Approved.
This is Jim.
Stephanie, approved. Oh, sorry.
Director Cornelia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Director Moore.
Yay.
All right.
We also need to make a change on the agenda. I'm sorry, before I know we can make a change since we've already approved it. But I'd like to see that the presentation of the draft budget be first. And then we move on to the addition of the dog park, pickleball, xeriscaping after that. Is everybody okay with that?
Aren't those items to be added to the budget?
Well, I'd like to review the budget first and see the numbers and everything and make sure that we're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So C is gonna be
So,
moved up.
I would, you need to make a motion to, because you had already approved the agenda.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to move the agenda around just a little bit and have the presentation of the draft budget number C be first, and then following the A and B discussion items.
This is Lynn, I'll second it.
Do we need to do a roll call again, or are we good?
Yeah, just do roll call again.
Okay,
Director Lynn,
Yes.
Director Soul,
yeah,
Director Cornelia,
Sure.
Yes. Stephanie?
Director Moore.
Yay.
Okay,
okay.
all right, well, we'll get into the draft budget. Let's go share screen. Let's go to that one. Let's go share it. Okay. So go here to the. Back, see that okay on the TV?
Yep.
Are you able to see that okay, Jim?
Yes, if you tell me what page you're on, I've got the thing open on my computer too.
I'm on the budget summary. Let me minimize that. There we go. Okay. So, here's the budget summary. The one thing that we still need to figure out is what we're going to, how we're gonna code this new fund that we created. You'll notice in this draft budget, looks a lot different than the one, well, doesn't look a lot different. It's got 3 new categories in there where we separated out capital funds, essentially, so it's not all meshed together, and we can have a better idea of what we have for capital and what we're spending for actual operating costs. So, once we figure out, how we're gonna code that, we'll update that on this spreadsheet and in Excel. General fund summary, you'll notice these new lines that we put in here. This is kind of what we need to figure out, probably just with the budget committee on, you know, what all is gonna fund the capital reserves. So currently
I'm sorry. Okay, got it. Our pages are in a different order than what you're going through.
They should all be in the same page.
Well, hold on. Let
No,
me-
there was another one in between, I think.
Didn't go to appropriations by flunkers, but that's really just needed to, when you guys adopt the budget, you have to appropriate the funds. That's all that page really is
Okay.
for.
So now I'm on the general fund.
We're on the general fund summary. And you'll see, this year, we're projected at ending at 394,000, total funds balance for the end of the year for the general fund. And next year, we're projected at being at 330, yeah, can't speak today.
Western Oregon, even.
$339,000, for FY 26. This right here is what's projected to be able to be taken out of the general fund and moved into the general fund capital reserve. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And that ties to the funds up above.
It's not,
Yes.
Okay.
That's not enough. Okay. Yeah, we don't
it's
see
just
that.
formulas, I think.
What?
Bless you.
To say that, the bottom part is cut off.
You're fine.
Unless it's on
Yeah,
the
you,
page.
you know,
But it's
those
just,
are
it's just summarized things. And
those are formulas for me that this doesn't need to be on that.
that was my assumption. Sorry.
Just makes it easier so I can tell you where the money's coming from.
Okay, so could you explain that again? Because I was looking for it.
This bottom number right here
Yeah,
is what we should be able to transfer into the new capital reserves project at the end of FY 26.
okay. 26.
At the end of.
Yeah, based off these numbers. Do you guys want me to go through the revenue and each of these things by line item, or just hit the highlights? Well, where we went over and where we excelled at.
I'm okay with highlights.
I'm
I
okay with highlights too.
I have some questions on some of them. We can go back to them if you'd like.
Okay.
Mostly what the red means and the blue and,
Blue.
yeah.
Yeah, don't pay any attention to that. That was just notes from me. These ones up here. This one right here is in red because we only budgeted 110 for the dust mitigation, and then we got caught off guard with that huge increase, and we also started road maintenance a little early.
Yeah.
So we got a little extra mag. Now, some of that 154,000 is going to be offset with the Grassy Mountain project, but we still underbid out quite a bit, or under budgeted, I should say. I was just talking to Dale, and we're thinking we might bump up the 130,000 that we have budgeted for 26 by another 20 grand, probably.
And that takes into consideration the new mixer. Didn't we get like something to mix the mat,
No.
our mag?
No, we're looking into
Okay.
that. That's gonna be, pretty expensive to
Okay.
get.
All right,
It would be cheaper in the long run, but pretty expensive.
okay.
So, and then, the vehicle repair and maintenance, I flagged it red because we blew that, especially with having to replace, the ECU in the dump truck.
That was the what?
The computer module and run, essentially shows the truck how to run.
The brain.
And so we bumped that up to about 25,000, or not about, we did bump it up to 25,000. Nothing.
This is Jim. Can I ask a question? On these, let's call them deviations, these stand out as line items, but when it comes to the whole budget, we're not over budget. We're simply pointing out that dust mitigation is more than projected, and you are now adjusting upward for next year, but we don't have a budgetary shortfall overall.
No, we do not have a budgetary shortfall overall. We just went over the,
2 line item.
those two line items, what was budgeted for, but the bottom dollar amount, we still fall under, so we don't need to do a budget supplement and appropriate more money to cover those expenses.
Thanks for clarifying.
So here is what used to be where we kind of housed the capital at in this line item, but we're gonna pull the capital out of this, and this will just be general fund administration. We didn't budget enough for software this year. Sean and I, well, me and Donna did this on our own. Got all the software invoices that we had, and we adjusted each line item in each fund for that, so we shouldn't underbid that unless something crazy happens, like having to buy 2 new laptops, because we're not budgeting for laptop replacements, although I think I'm gonna add that one in this year.
Yeah. So you feel that there's gonna be like $55,000 worth of software needed
Oh, there's more than that.
for in 2026?
Well, some of the things that are coded as software is Cassell. That's a monthly expense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cassell, we got Express Bill Pay,
Video.
Video.
Oh, okay, so
Wait,
not
wait,
purchasing
until-
software.
No, yeah,
Not-
these are our annual subscriptions, our monthly bills for.
Got it.
So that's, the only thing that was kind of out of whack on the admin fund.
6920. Can I ask, what is that? It says bad debts.
I have no idea what that is. It has to be on the books until, it meets that 3-year requirement, then it falls off.
Okay, so it was something that somebody put in there as a bad debt somehow before you.
I'm not sure what that money is, to be
Okay.
honest with you, or why it's in there.
Okay.
Same for me. I don't know, it was pre me too, so I can't answer that question either.
Like how we all like it.
The way the budgeting process works for the state is you have to have, 2024 actuals. What you budgeted for 25, your projected end year, and then what you're planning for 26.
Okay.
And so once we start doing 27 budget, anything that doesn't need to be in there will fall off. So
Do you feel, I'm looking at the training budget and everything, because I know you're trying to do more training and different things for the employees and yourself. Do you think that you've budgeted enough? Because I know we kind of didn't really have that in the budget this year completely.
everything that we did this year for training was covered underneath that,
Okay,
or what we had.
okay. So you
So-
think you're good for?
We're good with
next year?
training, because, so this training, that's just for the classes themselves, and it's the travel expenses is where the hotel costs and the fuel costs are coming out of.
Okay,
So really, if you wanna look at it, there's 7,500 in there for training, but we're kind of trying to track what we're spending on hotels and fuel.
right. Okay,
And each fund has its own thing. Like Mark hardly used any this year. There was a lot of free stuff in Durango this year.
Yep.
oh, that's nice. Okay,
And I don't think water or sewer didn't use any travel expenses really, because y'all just go to Durango.
Yeah, we did all of our trainings that we could around here.
nice.
So,
Okay, I was just curious. I just wanted to make sure that you guys had enough budget for that.
and, postage, we went over on postage a little bit, and I think that had to do with the election.
100%.
So I increased it by $300. I don't foresee us using $2,000 worth of postage, but
Except for
better.
something weird like that. Special election or something.
And then we paid it out for the general fund that, we incorporated. So we have a beginning fund balance. And the beginning fund balance in 2026 will be, $68,371. Currently right now, the only thing that we're gonna feed into it is, the investment income that we have coming out of Colorado Trust for this portion.
What page are you on? What's the header page?
New capital project.
Can you see the tabs at the bottom?
No.
We don't have the,
Okay.
we don't have an Excel, we only have a Word, a PDF. So that's capital projects general fund.
Yeah.
That's where I am, and the proposed budget says 33,000.
Yeah. Everything else matches.
Except for, we don't have the 40,185 either. We have
Yeah.
5,185.
Yeah, so if you, what, that was put together and sent out, I probably was working in this and done some more.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Do you remember like this, that's why I have this pulled up
okay.
and sharing my screen, because this is gonna continue to change all the way up to the point where
Admit it.
you guys adopt it.
Okay, okay. That's fine, I just,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't see the.
That's why I'm sharing this so everyone can see it.
Yeah,
Because when I put this together and sent it out, this probably wasn't in there, and that's why it's not matching what you're seeing.
Okay.
so I'll just look at what you're presenting.
So with the capital projects that are already kind of, we'll get to those later, slated for 26. With that 216 transfer for 26, we should have an ending fund balance of $88,000 in this.
So
Nothing
just
changed.
to clarify for my head, you're carrying forward 68, you're adding 20, and so we'll end up with 88.
Yeah, and if you, I don't get that button to move.
I'm furiously scrolling on your screen. I keep wanting to go up and down.
Well, I can't go back because I can't get this thing out of the way. Anybody have any?
Can
idea
you
how to
just
move
drag it?
So that's the annotate button.
Huh.
So there, when you move it, it's having you draw on the screen. Don't know how to undo that.
I guess you could just hit those three buttons and then do that every time, so you get.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. This number right here, Jim,
Yeah,
that's gonna be getting carried over. Or that makes sense?
yes,
And
and
I got it.
I was looking at the other screen that you had up that froze, and it had 68, and that looks like a carryover into next year, adding 20 to make it 88.
Yeah, so that should be the ending fund balance for 2025. Which would be the beginning fund balance for 2026. And then revenue, we're looking at $20,000, which would give you that. I haven't
Perfect.
put 216 into this spreadsheet yet because I gotta figure out how essentially hide that formula, but still have it carry over to this page. That makes sense?
Yes, I assume you're essentially with the 200, you're talking about a transfer out of one account into this newly created capital account.
Yes.
And I know what I would do, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna meddle with your magnificent spreadsheet. So,
Well, sit down and
you're breaking up.
I'm open to any suggestions if you wanted to come in and show me what you're talking about.
Sure. It might just need a new budget line that you use once in a while for an account transfer. But it
Yeah.
isn't real money. It's money we already have. So
Yeah, it'll be a like here, like a transfer out. Bid.
so your
Gonna be
signal
one of
is
these
kind of
transfer-
bad.
These transfer, where it says transfer in, transfers in. It'll get added into this more likely.
Perfect.
So if I'm
So you're way
understanding,
ahead of me.
if I'm understanding what you're saying, that 88,671 will be what we have in the general fund at the end of the year.
Not in the general fund, in the capital reserves.
Capital reserve, okay.
In the general fund, we're gonna have 339,000.
Okay.
But you're planning to move 216 into the capital fund, and you have a line in that spreadsheet where this number can go. So that makes sense. So instead of 88, it'll be almost 300 in capital.
But the projects get funded from it, right?
Oh, project's gonna be funded from that account. So
Okay,
it may not, it may not be 300,000, it may not be 88,000, but by the time, we have projects come up in the middle of the year and say, hey, we have this came up.
Mhm.
Can we do a budget supplement and do another project?
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
yep.
Okay. Moving on to any more questions on this?
Nope.
Okay, so, nothing, we haven't planned anything to come out of the conservation trust fund yet. We're looking at ending right around $55,000. Next year, we're looking at $67,000. All right, water summary. This is where, Mark and I really sat down and did some fat off the budget.
He says fat, but I don't believe it.
Originally, what we originally budgeted, we were spending more than revenue coming in, which isn't a balanced budget. So, we were able to trim some stuff down, and we got it to where, we're $3,000 in the black, which we can move over into the capital reserve.
What kind of things did we have to trim?
Oh, I don't remember everything that we trimmed right off the.
His right leg.
There was some training stuff, which, we talked about how we didn't use any travel and stuff to go to a conference or anything like that. We whittled that down some. Things that, there were quite a few things like that we discovered, we weren't using what we had put in the line item.
So we put a lot more into chemicals and testing because we were expecting to do some other testing that.
I think we're gonna have to do some other testing, but I still think we're gonna be okay. you know, it was kind of a wild guess over the last year,
Okay.
2 years on where stuff fell because nobody really knew anything about this budget, so.
Yeah,
Is this new number sustainable? Like,
We think it is based on this year's, funding of what we did. Could it be an oversight and we end up short on a few items? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And really what,
and I'm talking like fees, obviously, like,
yeah, so,
is,
and I will say the ones that we definitely weren't like warm and fuzzy on, we left a little inflated. To have a little bit of cushion, but the ones that we can actually sit down and like, yeah, we know what this test costs, and then you figure in, their increases. Typically about a 5% increase on some of the tests is what we've seen. So,
yeah, cause that's a big chop to it,
mhm,
but.
and again, we may go over in a line item. So
Yeah,
like here, we went over by 30 grand, we undershot that. But in building plant and system, we put 15 grand in there, we've only spent $2,000 out of them.
yeah,
Now, I'm not gonna drop that $15,000 because pumps and motors are expensive.
mhm.
We're actually looking at getting one that's, what, 10 grand on
Well,
the sewer side?
yeah, the blower motor's 10 grand. If we
Yeah.
want which I think we should really think about, if we want a motor and a pump for well 2, which is our main horse, it produces half the water that we can make. That one's 20. That one's still out in Neverland right now, but you know, if for some reason we lost that well, lightning struck it, it would be nice to have one sitting there in the
Yeah.
corner. It could be put in within a week.
But if we lost them both, we're looking at a $30,000 bill.
Yeah,
Yeah, and those are the things that are kind of, I mean, you don't know when the stuff's gonna break on you.
Yeah,
You can do all the maintenance in the world and then come in tomorrow and the thing caught fire for whatever reason.
yeah, right.
But that's part of if stuff like that happens, that's when we come back to the board and say, hey, this broke, we didn't budget this. We need your approval to buy it, and then we do a budget supplement and reappropriate that money to cover that cost.
Sure.
That wasn't in the budget,
Right.
if that makes sense. Because, I mean, you can't plan for everything.
What?
We like to think you can. Water, the software, I don't know why I made that one right, I think just as a reminder for myself. The software went up to $27,000 in the water fund. And with the whole CenturyLink and Starlink having them both at the same time, and then they running on its air card for what, a month? It was. We kind of blew that line item, so I increased it to 7,500. And then just like in the general fund, there's the new capital reserves for the water fund. So by state statute, tap fees and plant investment fees can only be used for improvements, capital improvement projects. We can't use that to pay the electric bill. So that's what's gonna fund part of this. If we were to enact a maintenance fee or some type of fee to like, hey, you know, we need a new PRV or something over here, we can enact a fee. Or if we want to get real crazy, we can, you know, create a water main extension fee and charge $1, $2, whatever, and specifically earmark it for capital improvement projects like that. If that makes sense. This is the building a line item if the board ever decided
For
to
future use.
go that way.
Would you be able to use that for engineering also? As a capital project,
Engineering.
because it might,
Well, yeah, so when you institute a fee, well, when you put that in there, you have to say this is for this, which includes engineering for that project.
So that 301,812.
That is what, our accountant Leslie did. I don't, I have another meeting with her to kind of figure out where she came up with that money. But I guess in Casell, she was able to decipher what should be where. I'm not 100% sure on where she got that number yet.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I just want to make sure that we don't get into that situation that we were in before where they transferred money and they shouldn't have.
Well, this money, that 301 came out of this water fund
Specifically,
specifically
okay,
with the tap fees and all that stuff.
okay.
So this year we should be ending at 368. Next year, we're gonna be ending at 135 with some of the projects we have listed.
Before you move forward, can you go back to the previous,
This one?
I think so. Yeah, right there. 69, 42 and 41. What is debt service principal and debt service interest?
That's for the portion of the, this
Building.
building.
The what?
That's their portion of the payment for this building.
Oh, okay. So every fund will have that on there.
Yes.
I may have missed it on the other one. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
it's in all three funds.
Okay.
And so the principal is the principal, and then, you know, everybody likes making money off of loans, so.
Okay, and the 405,000 is going to be the, capital improvement project?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to that at the end, but yeah, this portion right here links to the capital projects page.
Yeah. That was a question that I had, what it was about, so, okay.
Julie, you will see debt service and principal twice in the general fund. You'll see it once in roads specifically for the grader. And then you'll see it in the admin fund for the building,
Okay,
just so you're not confused when you see it twice in the general fund.
okay.
Good clarification.
Mhm.
Are we in any position to pay the building off?
I can't answer that right now.
I mean, interest is.
I honestly, I looked at the bill, but I can't tell you what we have left.
I think we talked about it just briefly mentioned it, but
It is,
just popped up. That's fine.
I look at it every month, and to be honest, I should be able to tell you that number because I looked at it every month, but as many numbers as I look at every month, I couldn't tell you how much we owe either. I can tell you how much the payment is every month, but I couldn't tell you how much we owe, honestly. It's a big chunk. I know that.
Maybe for next meeting?
Yeah,
Just
yeah, I can,
just a number.
yeah, I can have it for you by then for sure.
Sorry. I mean to get off track.
Yeah. Pay it off and then,
Oh, I can, Michael.
pay it off and then pay ourselves back. Okay, that's with the
Pay
same.
this off and build another. The Grand Plaza.
Okay. The wastewater, was slated to end this year at 290,000. 2026, we're slated to be at 142. Again, Mark took a beating. And, I had to have them trim some stuff out and, we were able to get about $4,000 into the black. So all funds are balanced. And really, I think on the wastewater side, the only thing that we had issue with again was the whole SCADA thing with CenturyLink and having Starlink at the same time, and we kind of blew that one up. Same
Corey,
thing.
in terms of some of these carry forwards, am I right that some of these projects were budgeted this year and the projects themselves are underway or about to be underway, and a lot of this carry forward money has been spoken for and will probably be spent next year because it takes that long to get the job done?
So that's taken into effect already, Jim. A lot of the projects that are happening now, minus the plow truck, because it sounds like we're not gonna get it till January now. You'll see here where it's already been accounted for coming out this year. So if that indeed comes to be true, you'll see this 300, this number here is gonna change, and then this number is gonna change to 300. So those projects are already factored in.
Thanks.
So the same thing with the wastewater capital reserves fund. By statute, high investment fees have to be set aside for improvements. That's what you see that dollar amount there for. This sheet's not fully done yet. I'm trying to remember, I think this line right here is going to increase. But once it gets more dialed in, because you guys are gonna see it again in November, and then you guys will be adopting it in December, so a lot of these numbers are gonna essentially be different.
Okay.
And really, the only numbers that are really gonna be different isn't the budgeted amount, it's gonna be the projected year end as we get closer to the end of the year and I can get more accurate information. And what's being spent. So for 2025 projects that we have slated, the water line extension is getting carried over into FY26. The generator project should be wrapped up by the end of this year.
I'm hoping we can pull a start up on those generators by the end of this.
So if all goes well with that, this project will be complete in 2025. This is changing, not on hold, it is being done now. And the cost of that was, if I remember correctly, just over $35,000 on top of the 11 that we already spent. So we're coming in under budget as of right now on that. The storage shed is complete. Daryl bought out the culvert, that's complete. The poly tank was complete. Maybe this year, maybe beginning of next year for the plow truck.
Have they told you what the holdup is?
Yeah, they're waiting for, the biggest holdup was Fontaine. We didn't get a traditional four-wheel drive system. We got a hydraulic four-wheel drive system, so it's easier for us to send around each order in smaller cul-de-sacs. A traditional four-wheel drive is way worse turning radius than the hydraulic. And I talked to a bunch of people, they said it was good, so that was the major holdup was them putting that hydraulic four-wheel drive on there so we can turn around in these tighter cul-de-sacs. Right now it's at Coyce Brothers, and they haven't started putting anything on yet. They're still building other people's trucks. So, yeah.
And
I
then,
tried. And begging, telling them that we have 0 dependable trucks to get us that truck sooner, and, yeah, no success.
and then, the last one was the pond floor liner repair, which has finally been complete after being on the board for what, 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
A long time.
And then I'm actually gonna switch over to this real quick. Cause it's a little easier to read.
Can you go back to the picture?
You guys did wonderful in that picture. Everybody looks so good.
Right there in a minute. More on capital projects and we'll go back to the thing. This is easier to read now in the spreadsheet because it's so spread out. So for FY 26, we are looking at buying some more culverts and doing some more culvert replacements in the capital fund. You all know we have to realign the Lakeview Circle Road that was part of the snag on this water line extension. Excuse me. We put $20,000 in there for the lake trail rehab to kind of resurface it and, well, I don't know, figure something out with that. The end over on the east end of the lake, or what ditch is it? Little Bear Creek that comes in, or Bear Creek? Well, Bear Creek comes in and it keeps cutting in.
Yeah, blowing stuff out.
And then, Bill and I were talking about this mini excavator this year. If we don't end up paying for the plow truck this year, he would like to purchase the mini X this year, because apparently they have one ready to go right now.
They do, and as full as our ditches are from all the rain that we've had, it's kind of scary going into snow season and thinking about runoff with the way that the ditches are built right now.
If the board does consider doing that, that will need to be budget supplement and reappropriation of funds, which not a big deal, just a little more administrative work.
So if that did happen,
If that did happen, $54,500 would be coming out of the general fund, and $27,250 out of the water fund and the wastewater fund. Because
okay, and then,
Daryl's crew, and the way it's split up like that is Daryl's crew is gonna primarily be using it the most. The water and sewer side are gonna use it essentially a quarter of what.
so basically, by purchasing the mini excavator, we're just flipping funds for the years.
Essentially. Yeah,
It's not gonna change our bottom line as far as,
it's just, instead of us spending it in 2026, we're gonna be spending it in 2025. So it's gonna change the fund balance. We're gonna have more funds going into FY 26. We're not doing the plow truck this year because we're not paying for it till January. Right, so we have that in there. So it's just offsetting itself. Making one and switching it with the other.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the numbers are gonna essentially reflect the same.
Would the purchase of the mini X then like happen pretty soon, or
She has it
how would you
middle.
do that?
Well, and here's the other thing, unless you already got 2 more quotes to go with it.
I do not have 2 more quotes. I mean,
So-
you're essentially trying to find another machine.
That matches?
Yeah.
But because of the dollar amount and our procurement policy, we have to receive 3 quotes.
Mhm.
Unless you say, just get it.
So what's the equipment, what type?
It's a Caterpillar 306.
Okay. And I think we talked about this last time, this comes with a bucket?
Yes, it comes with an articulating bucket.
Okay,
So that we
great.
can put that V in the ditch that
Great.
is necessary for an adequate ditch. If you
Great.
do a box ditch, it's effective, but it's not as effective
Yeah.
as a V ditch.
Okay,
The swag or whatever they're called, but not have the something
I can
comparable.
get a quote for a Kubota, but the Kubota that we currently have right now is not doing too well. We're in the shop every month with a Kubota.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that they don't make a great piece of machinery for household use or farm use, but as far as industry use,
Mhm.
I'm not happy with what I'm spending on it right now. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
I mean, that was half of my repair budget was that Mini X.
Hmm.
It's been in the shop 3 times this year. and It's only
Skid steer, you mean?
or skid steer. It's only 4 years old.
wow.
That's the one that you use for the flash.
Yeah.
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 So the other question, just plain devil's advocate, so if
I could
the,
John Deere.
yeah, I mean, it wouldn't hurt, does Bobcat make something like that?
Yeah, Bobcat makes skid steer. Yeah.
But,
Mini
Mini X. So devil's advocate, if they say, oh yeah, we can get you that plow truck in December and we've already approved the Mini X, how would we deal with that? That's more my question. I see the validity of having both. I want them both.
I've asked about that and they have assured me that even if they do have it ready this year, it's gonna be very close to the end of December.
Okay,
So, I mean, that's our projected is very end of December to January. So, and he said if it was at the very end of December, of course,
okay.
But
Yeah.
so if the board decides to want to go that way, then we can set up another meeting to have, they go through the whole process, so we're not breaking laws.
And would it be better for you to know that before you finish the budget?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because we have to do the appropriation in November, right? For the
So really, if you guys want to take a couple days, think about it, and then say,
add it to the
yeah,
agenda.
start planning to have a special meeting to approve that purchase, and we can.
What are the chances of you getting 2 additional estimates in this week?
I can probably get you one for sure, cause he's always calling me, wanting to see if I need anything, from Bobcat, John Deere. They take forever.
Can you give a Kubota quote just to have the third quote and just the reason for not doing it being
And
I could get probably a rough estimate on the price. I'm sure they could tell me that like, you know, that one runs this or that one runs this.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can get you a pretty close price. I don't know about a hardcore, yeah, quote.
so I could put it on the agenda for next Tuesday's meeting. And if we don't have a warmer fuzzy or all the information we would like to have, then we can just
Push button.
table it.
I think that works.
I would like
Yeah.
that.
yeah, I think it sounds like moving quickly with all the prep for winter that you're gonna be using it for, getting it right away is somewhat urgent, so.
Corey, can I ask a question? So it makes sense to me how it would be fine in the general fund, but what effect does it have on the water and the sewer fund for this year? It would be fine too,
Yeah.
because the plow trucks don't hit water and sewer.
No.
Right, but the still
Instead
be
of
fine.
spending the money in 26 is being spent in 25.
Okay,
Which means you would have to take it out of our reserve fund to pay it.
No, because you haven't, the reserve fund doesn't exist yet. Right? You haven't adopted it. So currently, we're still operating off the old format where everything is still together.
Bundled up.
Okay. But you would be pulling it out of there to pay it.
It would be coming out and then it would change this spreadsheet. To what extent, I'm not sure, but right now, we're good.
So the only thing that's gonna change is the ending balance in
The
25
balance in
and the
25
beginning in
versus-
26.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once you guys adopt this new format, we know we're not gonna have a whole bunch of funds in these new created accounts, right? Until we start, adding, the plant investment fees that we get for FY 26. That's gonna go in there, investment income's gonna go into that. If we don't, we cut costs in the water fund and that $2,000 turns into $15,000. That's gonna be carried into it. Is it?
But we don't have that $100,000 in the 2025 budget. That's what I'm asking. So that would.
No, and that's where we have to do a budget supplement and reappropriation of funds, because we're moving one project and adding another.
Okay.
That makes sense. Those funds aren't appropriated for
Right.
this year.
Right.
What's appropriated is $300 and something thousand for a plow truck.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, I would like to get a rate study. Oop, I moved my box. I'll fix that later. I'd like to have a rate study done in FY 26, and the general fund portion would be $6,700. For this is probably going to change depending on what the board says, but right now we're looking at $140,000 worth of capital improvement projects on the general fund. In the water fund, the carryover of the water line extension, upgrading the chlorine injection room where it's automated and these guys don't have to work, they have to do it. Their portion of the mini-X, $10,000 update the water master plan, and their portion of the rate study. Any questions on the water fund? Capitals. And wastewater fund, we're asking for $90,000 to do some manhole rehab for I&I, which is inflow and infiltration, for water entering our collection system when it shouldn't be.
Mhm.
Their portion of the mini excavator, their portion of the rate study, and the wastewater master plan. Because apparently we've never had one for the wastewater side.
So we're we discussed that last meeting. right,
That's
about-
why that cost
from
us so
scratch.
much,
Yeah.
because it is being done from scratch.
That one is different than wastewater collection master plan as well. So the board's clear on it. That doesn't include the collection system.
No, I thought it included both. And we were gonna break it out in phases.
I think it's 120 pieces.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
Right.
But good to find out for sure.
I'll verify, but I'm pretty sure 120 was for both. And what we were gonna do so we can get the admin grant was split it in half. Or separate it out, so it would be 60,000 or whatever for the collection side, and then the other half of that would be for the treatment side. That way we can apply for 2 administrative grants from the state and get, I think, what was it, $10,000? It is,
I think so.
to go towards each one,
Mm-hmm.
but the project has to be under 120,000 or 100 grand to qualify for that grant.
So you're gonna check in on that amount?
Yeah, I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure this includes
Both.
the whole entire wastewater system.
Okay.
It would be better if I misunderstood.
Yeah.
A double check's always good.
It would be best if I.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident. But anyways, So as part, stop going now. Thank you. But part of the, what we have to submit to DOLA, Department of Local Affairs, is a budget message, what kind of breaks down, key points into the budget. This page isn't needed, I just thought it would be cool.
I like it.
A great picture.
Mm-hmm.
So this is pretty much says what our basis of accounting is, district services, and then this highlights, what our mill levy was and what we're doing with the mill levy. Because it was in the FY25 budget, I figured it would be prudent for us to speak on remaining Tabor compliant with the 10% transfer. And then, because we did that big rate increase in FY25, it was a key point to kind of put in there that it did what it was supposed to do. It kept us from going into the red. And then we implemented 2 new categories for all 3 funds. And then as part of the budget message, you have the capital outlay and then in summary. Oh, I messed it up big time. What happened? I'll fix that. That's not supposed to be like that. Then I added the organizational chart as part of the budget message, and then the salary grade plan.
Corey, are you still doing a screen share? Because what's on my screen hasn't changed in like forever.
Let me try it again. You see it now?
Yes,
Oh,
You were showing in Excel.
my bad.
got it.
It said you were still sharing, so.
Yeah,
In the Excel.
I'll share in the Excel screen.
Oh,
Switch to
yeah.
the
Yep.
Word.
But anyways, so sorry about that, Jim and viewers. So this is where we're discussing the capital improvement projects for those that we're still starting on an Excel spreadsheet. This is where we describe our basis of accounting and where we hit the key points, like what we're doing with the mill levy, the new statutory limit of the 5.25 that we got, where we're still limited our Tabor, that 10% Tabor allotment for the enterprise fund. What the sewer fund did for us in FY25. Us calling out the new categories. The summary. And then I added the organizational chart to the budget message and our salary grade plan. And there was a lot of, I guess, confusion on the way this is done. If you're in, say, admin 3, these numbers right here apply to all 3 of those positions. So if you're an operator, if you're a road operator 3 and a wastewater operator 3, your starting pay is $25.40 with an annual salary of $52,000. That makes sense.
Mhm.
It's not down here on the bottom.
Yep.
Okay. And that's pretty much the budget nutshell. In a nutshell, the one thing that's not on here yet is page numbers and a title page, or not title page, table of contents. Because I'm still adding, I may add a few more things to this, like a demographics page.
So I had a question on anticipated projects, if that was
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
mainly the parks, like either the dog or the pickleball park, or the one that you had applied for the grant this year, that, Dr. Webb, was that a Meadowlark
That was,
or Meadowbrook
that
or,
was a park.
yeah. Why aren't any of those in here? Are they not capital projects?
That would be a capital project, and that was an oversight on me.
Okay,
Yeah, that needs to go here.
So what needs to go there?
Oh, thanks for reminding. So Daryl applied for, a grant. We were approved for the grant. We did not accept the grant this year because, it was $130,000 to essentially redo Meadowbrook Park out of our pocket. It was an 80-20 split.
Yeah, 25% or 25,000 for us was what we were awarded, and then 135,000 is what we wanted out of the pocket. They wanted out.
Oh,
I was gonna put it in here and it slipped my mind, I'm sorry. I totally forgot about that. Water can again.
Sure.
So there's a potential for, Meadowbrook Parks to be completely redone at $130,000. If we get the grant in, which the lady really seems to think that we will.
And I'm gonna try to apply for some other grants that are available.
Yeah, and we're gonna apply for a Go Cool grant. That'll alleviate some of that cost.
Okay.
can you
Wait.
have more than one grant for one project?
And you can, in some grants, you can use another grant as your matching funds. Just depends on the grant you're applying for. And like, some grants they'll take, their matching money as staff hours. You know, the staff
Mhm.
putting in this much to do this, and that'll offset, cost or the matching fund for that grant,
Okay,
if that makes sense. It just depends on which grant you're applying for and what that grant's rules are. There's no, all of them have a different stipulation behind it.
okay. Okay,
So, yeah, thank you for bringing that to my attention. So that's pretty much the presentation of the budget as it stands right now.
don't have any other questions?
I don't either.
Jim, do you have any other questions?
No other questions.
Okay, then, no board comments, and we'll move on to public comments for the presentation of the draft budget. If anybody online has any questions? Comment? No?
No?
All right, we're gonna move addition of a dog park or pickleball court. Public comment? You,
You wanna?
oh, I guess that might be a good idea.
So, Daryl and I were kind of talking about this, with the community center being torn down, we would kind of, like to give something to the public that could be usable, maybe, I don't even know where to really start with this. So Daryl went out and, there's been a lot of requests for a pickleball court, and I've heard a lot of requests about dog parks. Daryl went and got a quote for both. I did a quick little poll on Facebook, and there's a lot of negative comments to both and a lot of positive comments for both. The dog park got 98 votes, the dual purpose court got 105 votes. So I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag. The board wanted to proceed with one of those or not and save that money for something else.
I think another important that I took away is it had 105 votes for the most. There's 106 comments.
Yeah.
And
A lot
That's
of the, I'm sorry, not,
yeah, go on.
we're back and forth between the same folks, so.
Yeah, they were. And yeah, there was I counted about 20 or so unique lines and probably closer to 30 of people following up of negative. When I was, but there was and the comments I thought that were good is we used to have a community-led Parks and Rec committee. I feel like re-engaging with that, there was a few people seemed interested. I was going to ask if you two, as the Parks and Rec committee, I think for the board, right? If you guys had any awareness to that or insight into what the future guiding should be for parks versus kind of the reactionary one or the other. Because I kind of think I didn't care for that approach of which one of these do you want when we know there's another there. And I think the rehab of the trail around the lake, I think a more holistic plan would be how I would want it approached. That's what I was going to ask you guys if there was anything with that.
Or I think re-engagement of that Parks Committee, including community members. The original push was to get like a master plan.
Yeah.
And I think reaching out and having nothing against what you guys have done. I just don't take it that way. Having Facebook consensus is no way to lead any push at all for the district. I think having established community members representing just like board members that are representing the same community, I think that's a great way to start. And that way, each one of us has a little circle in the community, whether it's a board member or a community member, and that's how we should establish the direction, the master plan, the focus, the community desires, and whatever the opposite would be. The negative,
Pros and cons.
the pros and cons, or
Yeah.
facilities versus nothing. And I think there's unfortunately people in the community that want nothing. They just don't want to pay for it. But I think that master plan is a good re-engagement and direction starting point.
And you say that, and for those that are listening, there was a misconception of rates being raised to fund things like this. And I think I did a pretty good job at explaining it on Facebook, but for those that are listening, the sewer enterprise fund and the water enterprise fund, those rates have nothing to do with anything in the general fund minus their portion of this building and software and stuff that's co-used. Those funds aren't used for recreational purposes at all. The only thing that funds recreational activities is the general fund, which hasn't had a rate increase since the road and mailbox fee was increased. What, 2 years ago?
3
years ago?
Yeah.
So, there's been no rate increases for projects like a pickleball court or a dog park or anything recreational wise. So that was a huge misconception I think people had when this was on Facebook. Some of the comments I read.
Yeah, I typical issue that I see is lack of community input. And that's kind of what it sounds like happened with your Facebook, putting that out there. If we could get more community input, participation, I think we would have a more well-rounded idea of what would be a good option. I think both of these are things that have come up once in a while. in when we've had the community speaking up at the beginning. You know, but maybe there's some other ideas out there too, but people aren't really speaking out.
Yeah, I've seen like a dock for the lake repeatedly brought up.
Yeah,
Again, it's only Facebook, but
And I've looked for quotes for that too.
yeah, or like what will it cost to, I don't, what's the right word? Clean out the lake? I don't know. It'd be
Yeah, I've
dredge
seen,
it.
dredge
I've
it,
seen a
yeah.
lot of that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Clean
Yeah.
up the algae or
And I feel like that's
whatever.
a reasonable, like, not let the lake go into disrepair like the community center. That would be where but that's me individually as a member, and what I would want the money more spent on initially is fixing up what we have versus building something new. But I agree with Michael in that I think engaging the community first, and then once we have a well-rounded plan, then I like the idea of not a Facebook survey, but more a formal survey we send out to everyone. We've got those emails. We saw how many people responded to the speed bump one. It was a lot, and it was given to everyone. Everyone had an equal opportunity to participate.
Yeah.
But I feel like having a base idea to start from
Yeah.
through the community
And-
engagement.
And this was just, the Facebook thing was just a quick reach out
Yeah,
Yeah,
for tonight. That way, you know, we had something to go with.
mhm,
yeah,
One
Well-
thing that, I made a motion when we were approving the demolition of the community center, and the motion was with the stipulation of the demolition, we would put funds aside to replace whatever was there. These types of funds could go to that. I would rather see that than things that people may or may not use. It's a, you know, a small percentage of the community that's gonna use those.
yeah.
Well,
Or the lake and, you know, existing things that we already have.
I do agree with that, but at the same, even, and I'm not trying to be combative. I just, whatever we put there, a gazebo, a floating dock. Only a small amount of the community is gonna use
whatever it is,
we
yeah.
do. So,
Yeah.
just putting that out there.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we can appease these folks, appease these folks. We can never make, this group happy because
They don't want anything.
they don't want anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, that's kind of the nature of what we're in.
But either way, these don't have to happen. We can keep these funds and invest them and do something different. We can get a master plan going, which I tried to get going, but I just didn't have time, honestly.
No, I agree with Stephanie and Michael and Lynn that, you know, we need to get the community involved. We need to get that recreation committee back up,
Mhm.
have some decisions made, community-wide survey. You know, we aren't in any hurry to get that because we're here in winter time, and so we've got months and months to have meetings to establish that and then reestablish it and then.
And I feel like setting aside funds for improvements without a tag on them is reasonable too. Like, I don't mind getting quotes on these things so we know roughly what they might cost.
Yeah.
And that's part of what that new fund is for too.
Yeah.
It's money set aside for projects.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
Oh.
an air tag to it.
Okay, yeah,
What you'll see on, I didn't quite show you guys. This is where we'll ear tag money for a project right here.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
mhm.
Yep.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Give me 1 second. I wanna get pulled up to something real fast.
But while you're doing it, I feel like that engaging the community, if we can do that, especially over the course of like the first part of next year, because we won't be doing anything till
Yeah.
middle of next year anyways. Daryl can work on getting the grants, see where that comes in, so we understand the cost with that.
Mhm.
And you guys kind of then giving your suggestion from the community involvement side of what to do, when to do it, and how to use that, whatever money we set aside for it.
So this is another Excel spreadsheet that we're developing right now, and it's a 10-year capital improvement plan. So it's a roadmap. So this is where, I'll go to the wastewater side. We earmark money for what we want to do. And then for 2028, we're essentially setting aside or earmarking 70 grand to do some more manhole rehabilitation. And then 2029, we're we're hoping to have $41,000 to do that project. That makes sense where we start earmarking projects. It's kind of like a master plan, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of a roadmap for us to follow.
Yep.
Yeah, I think having a similar one for Parks and Rec would be
So,
or adding it to the general fund one, I guess, but
I mean, we can totally separate out. No, I'm not gonna say that, just. We could separate out Parks and Recreation totally and like make it its whole own fund,
no, I
but then we gotta figure out, okay.
No, I feel like the general fund
What's
is
funded?
fine to go with it. Cause I think that's what funds it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
And I really feel like we're at the appropriate stage to start talking about this stuff, like in depth, grant wise, project wise,
Mhm.
projected project. Because ever since I've been on the board, and I'm sure you can attest to this, and Julie can attest to it. Like when we came into these positions, like we were hurting for the budget. We were hurting on audits, we were hurting on budget, there was no clear understanding of anything. And even community members that approached the board or the district in the past, we really didn't know these numbers. And to see a budget presented like this, to be in the black, to be in this position, I don't know. Obviously, we have limited engagement tonight. Like this district has come a long way in just a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so, like, I do feel like this is the appropriate time. Yeah, like we've come quite a ways.
And I reached out to, I just ran into him on the road. He's still very much, interested in still being a part of the Parks Committee, Parks and Rec Committee. Chris Ponyo,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
if I said his last name right, Ponyo.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is just a good time.
Yeah.
To move forward with a lot of this stuff, and unfortunately, we're losing a building now, but I think refocusing and just kind of getting collection of thoughts, like this is the right time.
Yep, I agree.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
I think you have done a fantastic job with this budget and involving the directors and everybody coming together and, working on it. It's very, very good. We have not had this. It's evolved quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think.
So
if we
kudos
can
to
get
all
some
of you.
young people
What's that?
involved- We can get some young people
Yeah.
involved in that committee would be really great, would be really beneficial. 'Cause
Yeah.
they are out there a lot doing stuff in this neighborhood, kids are out a lot.
How do you think would be the best way to get the word out to everybody that, hey, we're starting this up?
You send out a thing and ask for, you explain what it is, what the purpose of it is.
Yeah.
You ask for letters of interest, because I mean, you don't want a committee of 20,
Right.
Right,
because honestly, you're not gonna get anything done. But you keep it kind of small, you keep, the two board committee members, either myself or Daryl or both of us. And 5 to
Limited,
6.
you would need to say we're looking for X amount of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 will probably be good.
And honestly, what I think should be done is we reach out to the ones that were kind of on it already
Mhm.
and see if they still have interest in doing it and see,
Yeah,
we're bringing this back, like, we kind of fell off the wagon. You guys still interested?
There's one spot open, because one never came.
Yeah, well, and Gil.
Yeah, left, so there's 2.
And there was one person on Facebook who had, she had repeatedly indicated it was
Yeah,
she was interested.
Andrea Meets.
Yeah,
Like she had made a big post about it, that had quite a few
Yeah,
comments.
I read that.
But then she had engaged with me a few times of excitement towards that.
Yeah,
And there was a younger female too, like 16, 15, or something like that last time.
I don't think,
And
I don't think she was able to
Yeah.
really attend to it, because she had her school, and I don't know about her after-school programs.
Yeah.
Reaching out and
But
trying to
it
get,
would be great to have kids
yeah.
involved.
Yeah, yeah. I think so too, like that community engagement would be really nice to hear a different
Looks
aspect of
good on a
what's
pod
important.
resume.
Yeah, right. True.
But I'll agree, like, I think maintaining or getting what we do have back up to standard should be the first step.
Mhm.
Then those discussions about what additional we can add to this place.
so
I think
we
that,
kind of got off topic.
Yeah,
Like
sorry.
you said, the trail project, stuff like that, getting them back up to standard.
Could we add that to the agenda in, I don't know, November, we're doing the budget, right? Could we add the recreation committee there so it gets out to the community that this is gonna be starting up again in 2026?
what, November, we're doing October? So we got our regular meeting next week.
Yeah, and we're adding the discussion about the
We
mini
can
X
put
next
it
week.
off till November, that's fine.
It's up to these guys, cause they're running.
I would kind of like to see if we can get something out. Like, see if you can see how many people might be interested in being a part of that, and then put it on the November agenda, maybe.
Yeah.
That's Mike.
Yeah, October, I mean, that's just next week, so I mean, November would be great, then you can get good responses back. But back, I mean, if we're gonna circle back to the pickleball court and dog park. Yeah, we can go over those numbers now and
These, I think,
whatever you
I
want.
think these are pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I think
Done.
we're pretty
Yeah,
much done.
I mean, I guess if we're gonna send out, a request for people to respond, just,
How long they're send it out?
And we've got
Just,
the Facebook page,
Facebook?
not Neighborly Forest Place,
Yeah.
but our.
Yeah,
Our website,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Just, hey, we're looking at bringing this committee,
can we send it?
or reviving this committee.
Yeah, is it reasonable to send it to people that we have their emails? Or is that kind of outside of what's acceptable?
I mean, we could, I don't see why we couldn't.
When we get something to be able to do that, send emails out to everybody with the new system.
so
We,
we have the subscriptions. We do have the capability to send emails to everybody that we have an email to. We had talked about it before. We weren't going to do that because we were gonna push people to subscribe. And so that's kind of a bold decision. I do have the capability to do that. Sheet, which is not potentially.
Or like, what about the text, like we get your text notices, just that. Goes to a lot of people. But I mean, we have
We're up to 267, I believe, is how many are signed up for subscriptions and notifications now.
I mean, I think that'd be beneficial, at least you're getting it out to 270 people. Most people do look at their text messages.
And those are probably gonna be the most engaged people too. They chose to sign.
Yeah,
up
if they've
for it,
already signed up,
versus-
yeah.
They're the ones that don't participate.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm fine with
But
that.
to answer your question, the last survey we sent out, we very specifically did it to people's email addresses, so we wouldn't have outsiders filling that out.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
yeah,
Cause there's way many people on that neighborly
yeah,
thing,
for
and
neighbors.
that link gets shared,
Yeah.
and then we have people that live in New Mexico responding to
yes.
a survey that doesn't affect
Yeah.
them.
Well, that
And-
seems reasonable.
and those emails were, we got that information from the billing system. So,
Yeah. I don't
Jan,
know,
do you have any comments?
I have one comment in terms of recruitment, and that would be if it's reasonable to indicate that we have a budget to spend. And it doesn't need to be precisely outlined, but one of the things Michael said that makes a lot of sense is that, in previous years, you didn't have the impetus to be involved because you had no feeling that anything could get done. And now it looks like we can actually tell them that there's a reasonable amount of money to spend on several projects. So if there's a way to quantify that in round numbers, I know that would motivate me as a potential committee member to want to get involved, to learn that, that my investment of time and energy can actually pan out to something getting done.
Yeah, and that would give people, a budget dollar figure to look at and say, okay, we can do this for that, or whatever.
Well, I tell you, one thing that kind of shocked me, the dog park was $17,000, and the pickleball court was just shy of $11,000.
yeah,
I really thought the dog park would have been cheaper.
yeah, I was really shocked by
Not
that.
as cheap
Um,
these days, though.
So
The
come,
pickleball court, though, the maintenance fees is matter. You have to redo that every 3 years,
yeah,
5 years.
so come the November meeting for the recreation subject, you'll be able to come up with a dollar figure that would be able to be used for that for 2026.
And it can be conservative, I mean, you might think you
Yeah.
have 30 and you might say 25. So the spendthrift factor doesn't come into play, but at least they know they have a war chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
So did we settle on how we could send out an interest just by texting? Is that what you think? Or,
We'll put it on the website and push a notification out that way, and we'll put a post on our Facebook page.
and y'all want letters of interest by November, so y'all can make a decision at the November meeting for people on the
yeah, I
committee?
think if people
Just
would
enough
respond,
time.
yeah.
Okay. So, like a week before the November meeting, so I can get it in the packet?
Yeah. I
Is
think
that
seems
how y'all wanna do
I think
it?
that seems reasonable.
Give us a month, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully we have a huge response and we have to like wade through. That'd be nice.
And what am I adding to the agenda for next week? I'm sorry, I didn't take a note and I'll forget.
The mini X,
Mini X, that's right.
I don't, any public comments on either the dog park, their escaping, or what was on the agenda for those two subjects?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm on my phone, so I don't know how this works. This is Bonnie Salona at on Pine Valley Road. First of all, I do want to commend you guys. I've always done it in the past. I continue to support you guys to the nines. And I also support our road maintenance guys and everything else. I think the biggest problem, at least that I was having, that may need to be really established is that funds cannot be used for anything other than recreation. If it can't be used to improve the roads, or it can't be used for other reasons, it can only be used for recreation, and the word needs to go out. One suggestion I have is to maybe have like neighborhood meetings, where somebody, like, I would be happy to have people over to my house if they like cats and a representative of the board to come and sit with everybody and talk with them. Just an idea that I had in my head that I thought might be better. I agree with the sending the emails out. And I know I've been voicing it, as I'm sure Lynn knows. You know, the others that they know that I've been on Facebook and been, you know, commenting on that as well. So anyways, those are my suggestions that maybe, you know, people do not understand, including myself, that that money cannot be redistributed to road improvements or water or other maintenance things around Forest Lakes. So that's my idea. Thank you.
I'm not sure where you got that from, Bonnie. The water fund and the sewer fund cannot be used for recreational purposes. The general fund is what solely funds our recreation stuff. So if we don't spend, we'll just use the pickleball fund, that $11,000 to do a dual purpose basketball pickleball court. That money can be used elsewhere in the general fund,
Which includes roads.
which includes roads or other maintenance items within the general fund. I can't use that $11,000 to buy a pump for the sewer plant or the water plant. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me now because I've been, you know, watching, you know, what's going on, and that was clarified in your meeting here. But that unfortunately is not what most people that I know who live here, and I'm sure you saw on Forest Lakes on the website, that is not clear to them. I personally am against both the pickleboard, only because at my age, there's no way I'm being interested, nor anybody that I know would be interested in the pickleboard. One suggestion possibly, and I think that's been put out there before, is to get a food truck court in that area. You know, once the building is demolished, I wish my personal preference is to have the building rebuilt, but that's not going to happen. But something that everybody would be interested in, or at least more people be interested in, than a pickleball court or a dog park. But that's my own personal opinion. Like I said, I think the biggest problem is that most people, and I'm sure you saw that on Facebook, that, you know, that they totally do not understand, Corey, because they did not attend the meeting, although I did try to tell people about tonight, that's not part of the equation. Your meeting clarified a lot of that for me. But sending emails out to everybody would be a good idea. I think the more people that know about what's going on, and like I said, you guys have been, and other people have said it, you guys have been very clear and upright about it, and so I know I'm in the loop, but unfortunately the other 100 and some odd people are not in the loop because they don't, unfortunately, to attend the meetings. So getting emails out to them would be awesome. And because, again, I'd be happy, like, maybe have neighborhood meetings, just little meetings, like maybe, you know, like me, like maybe a 2-block area, 3-block area, have coffee and donuts or beer and pretzels and spread the word. Exactly. Clarify basically what you've already done at the board meeting, but clarify it for them as well. Am I making sense?
I think what I'm hearing her saying is when you send something out to make sure that it's specified that this is not using any water, wastewater funding, that it's coming from our general fund. I think it would be good to clarify that.
And I did clarify that, to the one gentleman that brought it up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about your notification out to everyone to possibly join the recreation committee and the funds that would be available.
Yeah. And
It would be very clear to everyone. So,
yeah, it's coming out of the general fund that's primarily funded through the property taxes
Right.
that we're getting back from the county.
yeah,
Not
So
any
it's
of
not
the
gonna be an
fees,
additional fee.
not any, yeah, exactly. Like,
but in addition to the funds for the recreation committee, that would also need to be, as we talked about at the last meeting, that there would need to be funds put towards something for that
yeah,
replacement. We need to start saving. If we don't start saving now, we're never gonna have anything.
yep.
So food trucks would be out of the equation at this point?
I can't even get food trucks to come to the movie night.
I love the idea of food trucks. I think it would get a lot of community engagement if we had some gazebos or whatever. People would sit out there and talk to each other and.
It's because of the cost of insurance. That's what I was
Yeah.
told by one of them.
Some of that.
I
drove- that
managed
was-
to
was
get
drove away
one.
by-
Yeah.
Some of that was drove away by guys, what he implemented with the whole thing, yes. Actually, a lot of that was driven away because we started getting food trucks coming out.
That's what
And
Texas
then he
guys
came in
has
here
said,
and shut it down, so, yeah,
where they moved back.
which I think was.
Okay, any other board comments regarding anything? Or we adjourn?
No
Daryl, you-
comment.
I just
No comment, okay, go ahead.
brought this was just. It seems like all that happens is some things get taken away. With one thing getting taken away, I wanna see one thing placed.
Yeah.
And that was all that was about, yeah,
No, I appreciate your efforts. I think,
I feel ashamed to come, to say that I'm part of the rec department because, yeah, we don't really have a rec department.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of improvement, and I think, and what Michael was saying, is like, we've gotten to a place where we can focus on things that are not putting out all the fires of financial difficulties, it's like kind of like once your bills are taken care of, then you can do doing more fun things, and I think that we're gonna have that opportunity.
yeah.
Yeah, and as hard as it is to see the building gone, it's like, well, maybe we can make it really nice, do some landscaping, make people wanna hang out there. It's a great location.
Again, it's one thing I wanna add, you guys are asking me to bring a dollar amount to November. How do you want me to really separate that out for? Because it's still tied into the general fund. As I'm sitting there thinking about it, it's not, recreation's not really its own fund.
And I think it's a per project allocation, and it's not gonna be like, this is how much for 2026 that is set aside. Like, the community interest, the community discussions are gonna be the driving factor for those numbers. Once we get estimates back on what people wanna see.
So,
So I don't know how you're gonna do it.
that's kind of what I'm asking.
I was just thinking, we have money coming out of the general fund to roll to this, I don't remember the title of it.
Capital
Like
reserve.
the capital reserves. Could we have, a capital reserve for recreation, that we do 20,000 a year or
So
something?
we kind of have to separate it out from, into its own line item, so like you see, water and sewer, you'll see Parks and Rec.
I think that would be good.
What, how are we gonna fund it?
Cause it
So-
doesn't have any.
You're essentially turning, when you pull it out of the general fund like that, you're turning it into a enterprise fund essentially. And we don't offer services, but we're charging to bring in income. Does that make sense? Like Bayfield or Durango, where they have a rec center where they can charge fees for people to come into the rec center. Their softball leagues, their soccer leagues, from adult to youth leagues.
Yeah,
Those are things that fund it being separated.
right, like a
So-
food truck fund isn't gonna have that kind of money. Like, we could make money off of them leasing the spot, but not a lot.
That's why it's kind of so intertwined with general fund. And it falls in with all that. We know what we need for operating expenses for the road. We know what we need for operating expenses for recreation.
I think it's a future goal to have a separate fund. I think right now, it's basically upkeep, maintenance,
And it's a little-
and future, we could discuss having a separate recreation fund. But I think at this time, like, it really is a per project type of discussion and not a separate fund or account or whatever.
So,
I'm,
in terms of what kind of dollar amount are you wanting me to bring to November's meeting?
Well, I
So
mean,
right now you have 20,000 and that's in the that's a capital improvement, right?
Oh, I was asking for one of those. I wasn't asking for both. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not
Like,
understanding what you're.
the largest one of those is 17,000.
plus the lake trail rehab, I feel like fits
Oh,
into
Right,
that.
that was
Plus
20,000.
that, that's 135,000. Like, I'm not saying that's the right number, all those added, but we kind of combined have 170,000.
That is, like, if we're going to do a Pogo grant or something, can we do that for some recreation, thing like the park is?
I think that's what Kogo is. Isn't that what it's about?
Goko is.
Or Kogo, yeah. Yeah.
Is that something we could at least look at? I mean, if all of that stuff is kind of community.
Would that be, Daryl, from what you've seen, trying to get these grants, do you think like dredging the lake and doing the path around the lake, could that be a grant maybe that through one of these?
Path, yeah, probably. I don't know about the dredge in the lake, but I don't really think we need to dredge the lake either. I mean, it's small enough right now that if we just, and we've already talked about it, if we start getting some things in there, herbicides in there to get rid of it, then we can probably nip it in the butt without having to dredge it.
And then some aeration, right?
And aeration,
But like if we were going to
but
put,
with the part, with the trail, yes.
yeah, and so like for say these two things that you did the footwork on, are those things that could be covered under a grant?
Yep, absolutely, yep.
So maybe the approach would be to get a recreation committee going to see what kind of grants are out there to understand how much we need to budget.
Physical grants like the basketball court and the pickleball court are the easiest grants to get because those are the ones that are trying to push down everybody's throats.
Okay.
At least from what I've seen. I'm not an expert by no means, but that's kind of what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like and I don't know a lot about grants, but maybe there's some beautification kind of grant, like, it seems like some parks and that get sort of beautification grants, and maybe we could do that for landscaping where the building was, but we still need money right now budgeted, right?
I see where you guys are trying to go with this. And we can come to you guys with the numbers of what we're looking at for project FY26 for recreation. But without actually separating,
Line item.
so we have what we're currently expending on that. Like all the capital improvement projects in the general fund are all tied to the general fund.
Yeah. And they're
So-
all tied to a project.
almost like you need a capital improvement fund for recreation. Another entity that I'm familiar with has a recreation line item. And there's a certain amount that comes out of the fees for that particular entity that goes into an account, and then they will choose to either match that or not, depending on what kind of project.
Don't we have that with the capital outlay 8,300 recreation? I know it's specified that it's going to the lake rehab, but isn't that the basis of what we're talking about is giving you another number to add to that, so it's lake plus others potentially.
So like,
And just
it's
increase it.
30,000 instead of 20,000.
Yeah, whatever it's, yeah.
Cool. That number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and 20,000 of it's expected to go to the lake rehab, but then when there's another 10,000 or whatever number we choose, I guess.
But there's really, these are being put on hold, so these aren't going
Right,
into it, right?
But hopefully by first quarter of 2026, we would have something additional, like to account for a $10,000 project. So we could say, hey,
So
we've already got a
so
$20,000 trade.
Are you asking me to add money to this
Yes,
and not tie it in there?
Can you
yes.
do that or no?
Can we do that?
I don't think we can.
Okay.
I think it has to be tied,
Commissioner?
because when you're approving the budget, it's for a specific project or a specific expense.
So do we just need to do an addendum to the budget then next year, once that you guys have had time to meet with the community and get proposals ready? We can do an addendum to the budget versus putting it in this budget.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know right now, I feel.
Yeah, so maybe it's more like as a board, we feel comfortable spending up to $20,000 on an additional recreation project. And then a supplemental to come at the end of the year after the funds are spent.
yeah, after we know what that expenditure is going to be for, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like the idea, I think.
Cause I would assume if you had Daryl get quotes and y'all had a conversation about it, there was room in the budget for at least a $17,000 project, right? Cause it wasn't either the lake rehab, the trail rehab of these projects,
The lake
right?
is in there to be done. This
This was an addition, okay,
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where my brain was going.
okay.
So like, and then maybe we can be, if we get this committee going and we can be forward thinking, and then for the 2027 budget, we can say, hey, this is what the people would like, and let's budget for that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like,
And Daryl, I just want you to know, I know we all appreciate, well, I'm speaking for myself, but appreciate all the efforts that you're doing on
Me
this,
too.
and thinking outside the box and doing the movies and the Christmas and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I can understand why you'd be disappointed in that because you're trying to do something. But
I'm not in any way disappointed with the result of this. I just don't want to keep talking about it,
Yeah.
and then nothing ever getting done.
right. But like with every project, you've got to start saving, and we've got to start saving for the replacement, or like she said, something to do, maybe we make it a field and for the movie nights and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like we have this great facility there that could be used for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this seems to
kind
work.
of be a devil's advocate here, and I think we're kind of been straight off topic for a while.
do we need to talk about the landscaping here as well? Is that another item, or did we kind of subsume?
That's another item.
Yeah, okay.
We can move on.
Okay. Thank you for that, Lynn. Next is the addition of xeriscaping at the administration building.
Yeah, so I reached out to just to get a quote to see what it would be to do some geroscaping to kind of make the front of this building a little nicer, and the side right here where the office staff come in, because it gets real nasty and muddy. I think a lot of things on this could be taken out. But I would like to kind of spruce up the front of the office building and make it look a little nicer for the public coming in, and really, that's all I really have to say on that. Want to make it look nicer.
One thing that I didn't think I saw on there is, like a little, like a drip system or something. Is that on there? They did.
Yeah, irrigation system.
No, it says it does not include irrigation system.
Yeah, the very bottom line. It seems
Yeah.
like if we're gonna spend the money to put, the plants and stuff out there, I think even though they're,
Well, I
Irrigate
think we
plants,
could
we still
run,
have
we
to
could run a drip system in-house. and
Okay.
do it For half,
I'm fine with that, yeah, like, just,
if
yeah.
this were to be approved.
The biggest issue with planting plants, I think xeriscaping needs to be rock and that kind of decoration, because deer resistant or not, the deer will still eat it.
Yeah.
They're eating my plants that are deer resistant.
Yeah.
And things they haven't touched for years, they're eating now.
Interesting, yeah, cause like, I've never seen them eating
Yep.
like potentilla and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And everything on this list, cause
You have something to say over there.
I had that very same question, like, are these deer resistant plants? And she said, yeah, they're deer resistant plants, but it's not gonna stop them from eating.
Yeah.
We did, but there is some things that we'll stop for you. I'm not saying, I don't, you know, I don't even know what's on the list, but, yeah, there's, mountain lion, during, and, we put them down there in the front and they haven't ate any of the plants out of the front down there.
Yeah, it's just
We
these
didn't have a
little
lot of
cute
water
things.
to water them this year, so they didn't get all bloomed and pretty, but, yeah. Yeah,
A little solar electric
still there.
fence works well too.
So it is just one of those things that I would like to do it. If it don't happen, it don't happen.
Well, my
That's also money that could be used elsewhere.
My comment is, you and I had talked about it before, and I think that the district could do it very inexpensively, bringing in some dirt, putting in some rocks. Juan, my husband, said he would design it for you guys, see how you wanted it, put a design out there. We volunteered to help make it beautified.
Can we use that mini X to dig some holes?
I mean, I think we could do it very cheaply. We've got rocks down there. We've got big boulders. We've got a lot of stuff, and then just add to it. Maybe.
I think it would be really nice. I think, again, it's one of those things that brings pride to a community when your offices look nice
Mm-hmm.
and we have this nice building. Michael, what do you think?
I like the idea of, like, you can see after the rains and stuff, some of the erosion around the building. Obviously, xeriscape is getting, you know, is effective in this kind of climate. I think it's a
Yeah.
good idea, because I think there are some, as it currently stands, there's some trip hazards coming off the edges of some of these sidewalks, and that's not something a district wants,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of shrubs we could put up. I mean, they never touch my spirea, they never touch potentilla, and those are all drought resistant things that the deer never touch my house, and I'm not fenced in or anything. I think we should do it maybe in-house if we can. I mean, I know 10,000, 11,000 is a lot of money that could maybe be used.
There again, we may have a lot of people that would love to participate in something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is I feel like reaching out and saying who, if there's people willing in the community, because I've seen that on Facebook too, people.
Yeah, maybe we
Yeah.
make it a community engagement sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like we can buy all the plants, we can have the mini excavator,
Yeah.
all that, then use.
And I would just say that
Well,
like this time of year is a great time of year to do that because you get plants for like half price too.
Volunteers cannot run our equipment.
No, no, yeah, I figured they wouldn't be doing them, but we have the mini excavator to
And-
dig the holes.
These guys are gonna be pretty busy.
Okay.
Well, we.
I mean, I guess I can run the
Can you use
excavator.
a shovel?
We can use the shovel
I'm
and
pretty good at
get-
running the excavator myself.
Yeah.
I think it would be really nice.
Okay.
I think we should,
There may be somebody out there, you know, that is very good at designing. Well, that lady, she said she wanted to design some stuff for something.
Yeah, she said she was an interior designer,
Oh,
but
in
yeah.
area.
I
Well,
can guarantee you that Ann would be on board with helping.
yeah, probably. I think it would be a really good idea, but I think we could really do it. And I would love to help.
So do you want me to put funds
I
in the budget?
I don't think we need
For-
$11,000 in funds.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. You want me to put some funds in there to get something? Cause at the very minimum, I have to do something on this back corner for the ladies in this office.
Yeah.
Cause it does get treacherous and slick and muddy.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, I would suggest maybe a $5,000 budget. That would be my suggestion.
Same, yep. Yeah.
And if these guys are so busy, they can't bring a load of dirt and rocks over, then we can order, you know, a couple tons of stuff to spread.
That's gonna get eaten up quick.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on the size of the rock, but you could get like a dump truck from.
Something with the gas
said
at
you
the
should-
shop, I bet I can arrange.
We can,
I bet I can arrange.
but the problem with our rocks are clean rocks.
Yeah, they're not washed.
They're not washed.
They'll get
There's
washed.
all got dirt in it.
Yeah,
Which is okay, I mean, I don't know, my opinion is, even if you have clean rocks, dirt settles in there. And so, you know, it doesn't really,
yeah.
if you pay a lot to have washed rocks and.
If I can add, I did a project like this around my house. Edging, landscape fabric, and 3/8 stone chip from the quarry down near the hospital. And it has been very durable. It's extremely clean underfoot. It's only a couple inches deep, but it's soft for the dogs and stuff. So it makes a good starting point as opposed to larger stone, which really doesn't cover very well. This stone also covers the fabric really well, and plant intrusion has been in quantities like 20 I've had to pull in several years.
Yeah. I did the same thing. It worked out well.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the big deal here is just budgeting.
Yeah.
We need to all be in agreement on that.
And a deer stand on the corner of the building for any bow hunters.
Already have one?
Alleviate.
So you, to build a,
Just paint it.
That'll rile neighborhood.
build a walking bridge or walking path over the area, would that be too much to?
What needs to happen is we need to have some fill dirt brought in and actually slope it away from the building, so it takes the drainage away from the building.
Which could happen anyway.
Because that's part of the problem why we got the void here is nothing's really sloped away from the building, and you can see on that side, it's a constant mud pit. This is a constant mud pit. The water's being trapped here.
Yeah,
Even with the French drain that is here, they'll only do so much.
yeah,
The dirt's supposed to be sloped away. It was one of those checklists, should have made it on the checklist item that never did.
Yeah.
When this building was built.
I would think there's certainly, if we had in community engagement, I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that could be done.
and we have people that have the little bobcats there and the little plows and stuff, they would probably come and, you know, the dirt was dumped and flatten it out
You
and.
seen some of these people? Oh, joking.
Okay. Anything else from the board on that? Any public comment? No public comments? Then I motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:04 PM on October 15th.
This is Stephanie.
Motion there.
Thank you for attending.
Oh, we-
Bye, Jim.
Bye.
oh, it's-